A plethora of Stoic ideas can help people navigate emotional separation with resilience and discernment. These 15 guidelines, drawn from Stoicism, explain how to emotionally distance yourself from someone. Emphasize virtue. In the context of Stoicism, focusing on virtue means giving moral excellence and ethical principles top priority as a life-guiding principle. Stoics hold that leading a life in accordance with characteristics like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance is the path to true happiness and fulfillment. Focusing on virtue is making deliberate judgments and behaviors in daily life that are consistent with these moral precepts. It entails developing self-awareness and self-control to make one's actions consistent with what is considered honorable and morally right. Stoics highlight that although we do not influence other people or situations, we do have total control over our morality and character. People can overcome obstacles and uncertainty with integrity, fortitude, and inner power by concentrating on virtue. Virtue practicing demands discipline, ongoing introspection, and a dedication to one's development. It entails making a beneficial impact on society and others, while aiming to be the best version of oneself. The Stoic tradition's emphasis on virtue ultimately results in a life that is meaningful, fulfilling, and driven by enduring ideals that transcend transient wants and outside approval. Recognize impermanence. In Stoic philosophy, accepting impermanence is a key idea that urges people to accept the fact that things change and become transient in life. According to Stoic philosophy, nothing in the outside world is permanent or guaranteed, including relationships, belongings, and situations. Developing an attitude of amor fati, or love of fate, which entails accepting and loving the constantly changing aspect of existence, is necessary to embrace impermanence. With this way of thinking, people may let go of expectations and attachments, which promotes resilience and inner serenity. According to Stoicism, holding on to transient or uncontrollable things causes us to suffer and be disappointed. Rather, by embracing impermanence, people may concentrate on what they can control, which is their own attitudes, ideas, and reactions to the events of life. Stoics advocate living completely in the present and appreciating the beauty and singularity of each experience without undue attachment or aversion by accepting and respecting impermanence. Through the development of a sense of freedom and composure, this practice enables people to face the ups and downs of life with acceptance and grace. Essentially, the core of Stoic knowledge is the acceptance of impermanence, which enables people to develop perseverance, inner strength, and a greater appreciation for life's fleeting beauty. Exercise apathy. In the context of Stoicism, practice indifference refers to developing an attitude of composure and detachment from outside events and results rather than apathy or carelessness. Stoics advise being indifferent to things outside of one's agency and concentrating on what is under one's control, namely, one's ideas, attitudes, and reactions to situations. To cultivate indifference, one must put their inner calm and mental stability first, not letting outside circumstances or other people's behavior affect them. It entails accepting that the outside world is frequently unexpected and out of our control, which leads Stoics to embrace and distance themselves from it. According to Stoicism, emotional responses like fear, anxiety, or rage are the result of an excessive connection to external results. People can develop a sense of inner freedom and resilience and free themselves from the oppression of outside forces by practicing indifference. In the Stoic perspective, indifference promotes a calm, collected way of living in which one sticks to moral principles and virtues no matter what happens in the outside world. It helps people develop a sense of inner power and self-control, empowering them to face obstacles head-on and wisely. The Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature and exerting reasoned control over one's emotions and reactions is ultimately consistent with the practice of indifference. It enables people to maintain their attention on the things that count, which are the development of virtue and inner serenity, despite the constantly shifting landscape of life. Regulate your responses. In Stoic philosophy, the fundamental idea of control your reactions highlights the significance of exercising self-control and logic in response to external events and stimuli. Stoics hold that although we have no influence over the outside world, we do have total power over the ideas, attitudes, and behaviors that we think and behave. In order to regulate your reactions, you must practice mindfulness, become conscious of your feelings and impulses, and select thoughtful, calculated answers as opposed to hasty or emotional ones. According to Stoicism, our real power doesn't come from attempting to control outside circumstances, but rather from the way we choose to understand and react to events. Stoics advise developing emotional resilience and preserving inner peace by handling difficult circumstances with composure and calm. This entails thinking things through logically, delaying gratification, and selecting a course of action that is consistent with morality and ethics. By learning to regulate your reactions, you can develop emotional intelligence and self-mastery, two qualities necessary for leading a moral life and finding inner peace. Those who practice Stoicism regularly and with discipline can learn how to face hardship with bravery, discernment, and moral rectitude. In the end, managing your reactions is about accepting responsibility for your beliefs and actions, developing fortitude in the face of difficulty, and living up to the Stoic ideal of virtue and reason in all facets of your life. You can develop greater self-awareness and inner strength and live a more purposeful and fulfilling life by controlling your reactions. Keep your inner peace. The main objective of Stoic philosophy is to maintain inner calmness, which emphasizes the need to develop a peaceful and collected state of mind regardless of the environment. Stoics hold that inner peace is necessary for facing life's obstacles with composure and fortitude, and that genuine happiness and well-being originate from inside. Stoics recommend mindfulness, self-awareness, and acceptance of the present moment as ways to preserve inner peace. This entails developing an attitude of acceptance and disassociation from outside happenings, which enables one to handle life's ups and downs with dignity and discernment. According to Stoicism, although we frequently do not influence the outside world, we do have the ability to select our attitudes and behaviors. It is possible to develop a sense of inner stability and serenity by concentrating on the things that we can control, which are our thoughts and behaviors. Developing emotional resilience and the capacity to let go of attachments and cravings that cause pain are key components of practicing inner serenity. It necessitates accepting life's fleeting nature and finding beauty in every moment rather than holding on to hopes or results. People who practice inner peace can develop resilience, clarity, and a sense of purpose that helps them face life's obstacles head-on and with dignity. Stoicism provides useful methods and strategies for reaching inner peace, enabling people to live truly and develop a strong sense of well-being based on self-awareness and inner calm. Engage in mindfulness. A fundamental component of Stoic philosophy is mindfulness practice, which encourages people to develop present moment awareness and non-judgmental observation of their thoughts, feelings, and sensations. For Stoics to achieve self-awareness, emotional fortitude, and inner calm, mindfulness is a prerequisite. In the Stoic tradition, mindfulness is deliberately concentrating on the present moment, avoiding being unduly tied to regrets from the past or worries about the future. Instead of responding on impulse or letting emotions carry one away, it entails watching one's thoughts and feelings with acceptance and inquiry. Living in harmony with nature is being present and involved in every moment, as emphasized by Stoics. By enabling people to respond to life's obstacles with clarity and composure, mindfulness promotes a greater awareness of both the self and the outside world. Deep breathing, meditation, and mindful walking are a few of the easy methods used in mindfulness practice to develop an increased sense of presence and awareness. People can increase their emotional intelligence and resilience in the face of adversity by practicing mindfulness. In the end, mindfulness is consistent with the Stoic ideas of logical control over one's thoughts and acts, as well as self-mastery. It gives people the tools they need to live intentionally and purposefully, accept the present, and develop inner peace and well-being. According to Stoic philosophy, mindfulness is an effective technique for raising self-awareness, lowering stress levels, and encouraging a closer bond with oneself and others. Make use of negative imagery. A potent method derived from Stoic philosophy, negative visualization is visualizing the loss or absence of something significant to foster perspective, thankfulness, and resilience. Stoics hold that we might cultivate a greater appreciation for life's blessings and mentally ready ourselves for adversity by thinking about the possible loss of what we enjoy. Stoics advise people to consider the transience of events, relationships, and things by using negative visualization. This exercise is visualizing a world in which we are deprived of the luxuries we normally take for granted, such as family, health, and possessions. People who use negative visualization can become more appreciative of what they have right now and realize how fleeting and valuable life is. By mentally preparing for possible losses or setbacks, this technique also fosters resilience by enabling one to face obstacles with greater strength and composure. Negative imagery is seen by Stoics as a means of developing knowledge and coming to terms with life's uncertainties. People can cultivate inner serenity and emotional resilience by adopting a more realistic and balanced perspective, by accepting the inevitable nature of change and loss. In the end, negative visualization inspires people to embrace the present and all of life's blessings while getting ready for any obstacles that may arise. It is an incredibly powerful practice that supports the Stoic values of acceptance, thankfulness, and inner strength, enabling people to face life's uncertainties with grace and fortitude. Concentrate on doing good deeds. A cornerstone of Stoic philosophy is focusing on virtuous actions, which emphasizes the significance of conforming one's conduct to moral excellence and ethical ideals. Stoics hold that leading a life of virtue and integrity, characterized by values like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the path to true happiness and fulfillment. Making conscious decisions that represent moral excellence and ethical behavior in daily life is what it means to concentrate on virtue. Practicing virtues is something that Stoics encourage, not only in the best of times, but also in challenging situations. Grace and fortitude. According to Stoicism, we have control over our morality and character, but not over the outside world. People can develop inner strength, resilience, and a feeling of purpose that transcends external consequences by making virtuous behaviors a priority. Stoicism, self-control, kindness, honesty, and compassion are a few examples of virtues. By living up to these values, people promote harmony in relationships and a feeling of goodwill throughout the community, which in turn improves their well-being and the well-being of others. Virtuous behavior demands self-awareness, self-control, and a dedication to one's development. Stoics hold that people can have a life of meaning and purpose that is based on integrity and ethical conduct by continuously coordinating their actions with moral principles. In the end, putting an emphasis on virtue is about living by one's morals and values, emulating the Stoic goals of moral perfection, and making a constructive contribution to society as a whole. People can live lives of integrity, resilience, and fulfillment grounded in timeless ethical ideals by making virtuous activities their top priority. Look for inner contentment. One of the key ideas of Stoic philosophy is seeking inner fulfillment, which emphasizes deriving happiness and contentment from within as opposed to depending on other people or material belongings. Stoics hold that developing virtue, insight, and inner peace is the path to ultimate fulfillment. In the Stoic tradition, seeking inner fulfillment entails placing a high value on self-awareness, self-mastery, and personal development. Discover one's actual values, goals, and sources of meaning in life entails introspection and reflection. According to Stoicism, material success and belongings are ephemeral and cannot, in the end, bring to enduring contentment. Rather, people are urged to develop characteristics that lead to a feeling of inner richness and well-being, such as courage, wisdom, temperance, and justice. People might gain a feeling of purpose and clarity about what matters in life by pursuing inner contentment. This entails developing a strong sense of authenticity and integrity by coordinating one's decisions and behaviors with one's values and ideals. Letting up outside attachments and aspirations that divert from inner serenity and contentment is necessary for practicing inner fulfillment. Stoics promote the development of acceptance, appreciation, and mindfulness as means of achieving inner fulfillment. In the end, leading a meaningful life that is based on virtue and self-awareness is what it means to seek inner fulfillment. People who place a high value on their own personal development and inner growth can acquire a deep sense of fulfillment and well-being that transcends obstacles and other circumstances. Stoicism provides useful methods and instruments for pursuing inner fulfillment and leading an authentic life in line with one's genuine goals and values. Exercise thankfulness. Stoic philosophy is the foundation of the transforming practice of gratitude, which entails developing a profound sense of appreciation for all of life's events and blessings. Gratitude, according to Stoics, is necessary to cultivate perseverance, inner serenity, and an optimistic attitude in life. In the Stoic tradition, practicing thankfulness involves making a conscious effort to pay attention to what one has rather than what one does not have. It entails recognizing and giving appreciation for the small joys, connections, and chances that make life more meaningful. Regardless of the outside world, Stoicism teaches that developing appreciation is a means to acceptance and contentment. People who practice thankfulness can change their mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, which promotes happiness and contentment. Moreover, gratitude is a potent remedy for unfavorable feelings like jealousy, resentment, and entitlement. People can develop compassion and humility for others by appreciating and being humbled by life's gifts. Gratitude practice entails daily introspection and mindfulness to identify and appreciate happy, meaningful, and beautiful situations. Journaling and meditation are two practices that Stoics recommend as means of developing an appreciation for life and generating thankfulness. In the end, creating an attitude of abundance and appreciation, inner calm, and resilience in the face of adversity are the main goals of practicing thankfulness. Gratitude is a fundamental Stoic discipline that helps people change their perspective on life and develop a greater sense of contentment and well-being. Restrict your emotional involvement. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of cultivating detachment from external events and outcomes to retain inner peace and resilience. One of its fundamental tenets is limiting emotional investment. Stoics hold that sorrow and a loss of inner serenity can result from an overabundance of emotional attachment to people, things, or occasions. Restricting emotional involvement is controlling where your emotional energy is directed and concentrating on your ideas and actions, which are under your control. It entails developing emotional fortitude and refraining from excessive reliance on approval or results from other sources. According to Stoicism, feelings like desire, rage, or terror are caused by our ties to outside objects. People can develop better self-control and mental clarity by reducing their emotional engagement. This will enable them to face life's obstacles with composure and knowledge. Emotional detachment is the ability to experience and respond to emotions in a balanced and logical manner, not by repressing them. To promote inner stability and self-control, Stoics encourage recognizing feelings without letting them govern one. Reducing emotional commitment allows people to develop a stronger feeling of autonomy and self-awareness. True freedom and happiness, according to Stoicism, originate from within and transcend circumstances and attachments from the outside world. Redirecting emotional energy toward virtues like courage, wisdom, and justice is ultimately about minimizing emotional commitment and placing a higher priority on inner calm and resilience. People can develop a sense of freedom and authenticity that enables them to live honorably and purposefully by engaging in emotional detachment practices. Accept imperfections. The idea of embracing imperfection is fundamental to Stoic philosophy and urges people to recognize and value the limitations and inherent imperfections in both themselves and other people. Stoics hold that expecting perfect results or aiming for perfection causes needless hardship and unhappiness. Accepting that everyone is fallible and prone to human frailties is a step toward developing humility and self-compassion. According to Stoicism, the quest for virtue does not necessitate perfection, but rather a dedication to ongoing moral development. The Stoic perspective promotes seeing errors, failures, and flaws as chances for development. People can develop resilience and self-awareness, as well as a sense of humility and acceptance of life's uncertainties by accepting imperfection. Being empathetic and compassionate toward oneself and others is another aspect of embracing imperfection. Stoics hold that embracing one's flaws promotes empathy and a deeper sense of connection with people who are facing similar struggles in life. Without the weight of inflated expectations or self-criticism, people can develop a sense of authenticity and integrity by accepting imperfection. True power and perseverance, according to Stoicism, originate from accepting oneself completely, flaws and all, and making an effort to live a morally upright and wise life. In the end, accepting imperfection is about developing a compassionate and self-acceptance mindset that enables people to deal with the challenges of life genuinely and gracefully. People can develop better inner peace and well-being by accepting imperfection. This leads to a sense of fulfillment and contentment that is based on self-awareness and acceptance. Apart from your ego. In Stoic philosophy, detaching from ego is a key idea that entails overcoming self-centeredness and developing humility and selflessness. According to Stoics, an overabundance of ego attachment results in negative traits like pride, conceit, and selfishness that impede moral and personal development. To separate from ego, one must acknowledge that one's sense of self is mutable and always evolving, and refrain from attaching undue significance to one's identity or accomplishments. According to Stoicism, real fulfillment arises from serving the greater good and abiding by universal ideals rather than pursuing approval or fame. To identify ego-driven urges and wants, Stoics advise engaging in self-awareness and introspective exercises. People can develop a sense of inner freedom and authenticity by letting go of their ego, which enables them to act morally and ethically. Letting go of the desire for affirmation or approval from others is another aspect of detaching from the ego. Stoics place a strong emphasis on leading a life of morality and integrity that is dictated by reason and moral standards rather than by irrational impulses or aspirations. People can develop empathy, compassion, and humility toward others by letting go of their ego. According to Stoicism, real wisdom and happiness originate from letting go of the ego and adopting a more expansive viewpoint that emphasizes interconnection and the welfare of all people. Detaching from ego is ultimately about letting go of self-centered ideas and actions to cultivate inner serenity and integrity. People can develop a greater feeling of fulfillment and purpose by being humble and selfless, which will benefit both their personal development and the well-being of others. Understand the dichotomy of control. One of the main tenets of Stoic philosophy is the understanding of the dichotomy of control, which makes a distinction between the things we can control and the things we cannot. Stoics hold that worrying excessively about outside events causes misery and anxiety, but concentrating on what we can control brings inner calm and resilience. To comprehend the paradox of control, one must acknowledge that while certain aspects of life, like our thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors, are under our direct control, other aspects, like outside occurrences, other people's perspectives, and unanticipated circumstances, are not. According to Stoicism, we should place more emphasis on developing virtues and behaving honorably in the face of difficulty than on trying to influence other people's opinions. Through acknowledging the boundaries of our power, we can develop a feeling of inner liberty and independence. To distinguish between what we can affect and what we cannot, it is necessary to practice mindfulness and self-awareness to comprehend the dichotomy of control. No matter what obstacles people face in life, they can develop emotional stability and resilience by letting go of attachment to external results. Stoics encourage us to focus our energies on the things we can control, such as our attitudes, ideas, and actions, and to be calm in the face of outside events. People can live with more clarity, purpose, and acceptance when they embrace the paradox of control, which promotes inner peace and well-being. In the end, realizing the control dichotomy is about adopting an attitude of empowerment and acceptance, concentrating on what matters, and letting go of unneeded attachments and anxieties. Stoic ideas of resilience and self-mastery can help people face obstacles with grace and wisdom by guiding their actions toward virtues and accepting life's uncertainties. Exercise self-compassion. A fundamental component of Stoic philosophy is the practice of self-compassion, which includes loving, understanding, and empathizing with oneself, particularly in trying circumstances. Stoics hold that developing self-compassion is crucial to promoting emotional stability, personal development, and inner resilience. In the Stoic tradition, practicing self-compassion entails accepting oneself, not passing judgment on oneself, and being gentle and understanding of one's flaws and limits. It entails treating oneself with the same consideration and kindness that one would show to a friend or family member. Self-compassion, according to Stoicism, entails accepting and acknowledging the whole range of human experiences, including failures, setbacks, and vulnerable times. People can develop stronger emotional resilience and self-confidence by accepting these events with empathy and self-kindness. To cultivate self-compassion, one must also confront and replace self-defeating ideas and self-talk with positive, uplifting inner conversation. Stoics place great emphasis on developing a healthy, loving connection with oneself that is based on acceptance and self-awareness. Self-compassion practice helps people develop a stronger sense of inner peace, self-worth, and well-being. Self-compassion, according to Stoicism, is a source of strength and resilience rather than a sign of weakness, enabling people to face life's obstacles with grace and genuineness. At the end of the day, cultivating self-compassion is accepting oneself for who you are. Imperfections and setbacks are all part of being human. Following the tenets of virtue and inner peace found in the Stoics, people can develop greater emotional equilibrium and self-mastery by treating themselves with kindness and understanding.